welcome. I'm Kritika Saxena. I have with me today a special guest, Francisco D'Souza. In his visit to India in Noida, is joining in now to speak about Cognizant, the road ahead, and what lies ahead for the Indian IT industry. Frank, always a pleasure to have you with us, and congratulations for a good set of numbers. It's been a good few quarters for Cognizant. My first question to you is what lies ahead? You have guided for a growth of 9 to 10% for the calendar year 2017. Take us through the kind of visibility that you see in terms of the demand pickup in the environment, and what are the chances of being able to beat that guidance?
Kritika, it's good to be with you. As you said, we had a good quarter, good start to the year. The first half of the year was very strong for us. At the end of the second quarter, we took the lower end of our guidance range up. We're now forecasting revenue in the range of 9 to 10%. We feel good about the outlook for the rest of the year. And our growth has been quite broad-based across the industries that we serve. And it's been driven because our clients across the industries that we serve are now starting to deploy digital technology at scale. And as digital becomes mainstream and our clients look to reinvent their business model, their operating model, and their technology models, and do that all simultaneously, they're increasingly turning to Cognizant to help them with that journey. And as clients move to digital at scale, we are benefiting because of the investments that we've made.
Okay. So if I were to look at the kind of growth that the sector and the industry has seen over the last 1 year, can I safely say, purely based on your guidance, that the calendar year 2017 is looking like a better year than calendar year 2017 based on the visibility?
Well, Kritika, our guidance range is 9 to 10%. We delivered a little bit less than 9% last year. And so just, mathematically, regardless of where we fall within our current guidance range, we expect that we'll do a little bit better this year than we did last year.
So, in terms of the order book, in terms of the visibility, Frank, what are the key growth areas that you're looking at right now? You've completely revamped your entire segment, so you're focusing on digital now. There are 3 areas that you are focusing on, which includes operation, technology, and digital business. But in terms of the sectors that are actually adopting to these digital technologies, which stand out and which will be the focus areas for you in the next 2 years?
Yeah, Kritika, first I would point out healthcare. We see tremendous momentum in healthcare, and that's based on investments that we've been making in healthcare for many, many years, and more recently with the TriZetto acquisition in 2015. We've got a very strong position in the healthcare market, and we continue to drive digital within healthcare and do that with our clients at scale. So healthcare is a very strong area for us at the moment. Beyond that, products and resources grew 13% year over year in the second quarter, and communications, media, and technology grew even more than that, close to 17% year over year in the second quarter. So we are seeing strong growth across those areas.
Okay. So you spoke about acquisitions, Frank. What is the outlook there? You've been making niche acquisitions, specific acquisitions that add to the business. How much scale can you get from acquisitions in the near term?
It's always been the case, Kritika, that our primary approach to acquisitions has been to focus on small tuck-in acquisitions, not necessarily for scale per se, but to add capabilities or to expand into new geographies, or to add a platform capability to Cognizant, deepen our industry expertise. And so that will continue to be our primary focus, is to look at acquisitions in those areas, but with a particular emphasis on digital. And it has, we've said now for some months that we intend to scale up the pace at which we do acquisitions, and I think you'll see us do that in the coming quarters. So that's our primary approach. Having said that, we did the TriZetto acquisition, which was a large acquisition in late 2015. We've been very pleased with the results of that acquisition, and so if similar opportunities present themselves in the future, we wouldn't be opposed to looking at them.
Okay, so if we were to factor in acquisitions, Frank, would you expect to beat that 9 to 10%, revise it upwards over the next few quarters?
9 to 10% is currently our best outlook for for this year. That's the guidance we provided just a few weeks ago when we released earnings, and that continues to be our outlook for the year. As the year progresses, if that outlook changes, obviously we'll update our guidance accordingly.
Let's talk about the realignment strategy, Frank. Digital has been something that you've been talking about for the last few quarters. And as I was saying earlier, there are 3 businesses that you've outlined, which you've refocused your business into, and that includes the digital operations, digital business, and digital technology. In terms of investment and in terms of the kind of focus on digital, can you give us some clarity as to what the plan is till that 2019-2020 target in terms of refocusing, shifting your entire business? By the end of 2020, how much revenues will actually be coming from digital?
So, Kritika, it's the reason we realigned the business into these 3 practice areas that cut across our industry segments, our business segments, is because of this trend that I mentioned earlier of our clients moving to digital at scale. Our clients are saying that we need to change our business model, we need to change our operating model, and we need to change our technology model. We need to do all 3 of those things simultaneously. And so Cognizant Digital Business, Cognizant Digital Operations, and Cognizant Digital Systems and Technology are each focused on one of those areas: business model transformation, operating model transformation, and technology model transformation. So the realignment was done very much with the needs of our clients in mind. We are investing across all 3 of these areas because we view the strength of Cognizant as being in the ability to integrate these 3 practice areas together and create that end-to-end solution for a client. And so we're investing very, very strongly in each of these 3 areas. In digital business, to focus on how helping our customers evolve their customer experience and their customer journey. In digital operations, using systems of intelligence to make operating processes more efficient and more effective, and in digital systems and technology, focusing on how we can help our clients make their technology simpler, more modern, and more secure. Those are the major focus areas for us in our investments.
Okay, Frank, based on the commentary that you've given in the last few conference calls, would I be correct in assuming that a bulk of the costs that will go into realignment will be completed within 2017? And if that's the case, then what would be the immediate impact on margins in the short term?
We continue to realign the business, and my expectation is that we will, as long as we continue to reshape the business, we'll continue to take some of the realignment costs. The impact on our non-GAAP operating margin is I think already visible. Our non-GAAP operating margin improved from the first to the second quarter, and as we've said, Kritika, our goal will be to improve our non-GAAP operating margin, increase it, and our target is to get to 22% by 2019.
Yes, that was actually my next question, Frank. 22% by 2019. Will a bulk of this be through the entire realignment process, or are there other modes in place which you will be able to use to be able to bring down that impact on margins and thereby expand?
We've laid this out in some detail, Kritika. There are really three broad areas that will drive our margin improvement. The first is a focus that we have on driving high quality sustainable revenue growth. So we're focusing on lines of service that will drive longer term, higher value, sustainable growth for Cognizant. So that's one piece of the equation. The second part of the equation is driving simplification in the organization. So looking internally and saying, how do we simplify? How do we make the company less complicated?
Yeah.
And then the third are the realignment actions that you talked about.
Okay, so if I'm correct, Frank, in 2016, the total digital revenues was about 23%. After the realignment is completed, by how much can that be scaled up?
You're right, Kritika. In Q2, digital revenue was a little bit more than 25%, so it had gone up. It grew in the neighborhood of 30% year over year in the second quarter. So it's a big part of our business now. over 25%. It's clearly growing faster than the rest of the company. And so, I expect that digital as a percent of our total company revenue will continue to increase, and it will continue to grow, but I'm not going to make projections of where it winds up at the end of the year.
All right, on that note, let's slip into a very short break. We'll be back with more on Cognizant and the road ahead on the other side.